Hey, this is Paolo.
This is Corey, and we're from Trivium.
Well, we all got into music pretty much the same way, you know, just discovering that one album that, you know, changed everything. I guess for me, just discovering Metallica.
I got into music from Guns N' Roses, and then Metallica was the band that pretty much was what wanted me to play guitar and start a band. So
Then from there, just, you know, we eventually all found each other in Trivium, and, you know, fate just kind of got us here, I guess. You know, we played, I mean, for the last, 8 years we've been touring, so that's just kind of how we all ended up here. I discovered Metallica like in their Load Reload era, but I think when I got Master of Puppets, that was sort of the one that made me decide that this was the music I was going to stick with and wanted to play.
yeah, the record that kind of brought me into the whole rock heavy metal scene was I heard Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusions 2, and then from there trying to find other new bands. Someone mentioned Metallica, and I believe the first CD that I got was Master of Puppets as well.
That's kind of weird. I mean, it's a sport, dudes bashing the shit out of each other. I mean, nothing fits it better than heavy music, in my opinion. And censorship, I mean, it'd be like the same thing of the UFC getting banned in states because they don't want people fighting for sport. So, I mean, it's kind of ironic, and I don't know. I don't think anything like that should be banned. It would have been pretty cool to hear a band come out to Hatebreed on national television.
This leads to disarray. Guilt buries me alive in a coffin granted.
If you're into metal, you know, regardless if you're male or female, everyone seems to have the same mentality as far as what the metal scene is and just kind of what it represents. And, you know, the chicks, they can hang and perform with everyone else. So, and they're treated pretty much, you know, exactly the same, and they hang and, you know, they do everything, you know, all the guys do. So it's nice to see, you know, females being more interested in metal nowadays, because it seemed like there wasn't really a whole lot of that for a while, and you can see it coming into other things with fighting as well. There's a lot of like pretty big name women that are pretty awesome at it. So it's cool to have the, I guess, both genders involved in both.
Yeah, if you train hard for the sport, or if you practice hard and want to be in music, I'm cool with anyone getting into it if they're passionate about it. What's awesome with working with different people for producing is you kind of get their opinion on how things should be, maybe songwriting, production, everything from the mix to, I don't know, maybe even the order of songs on the CD, and having that insight from someone else that's not in the band definitely helps. I mean, even for an album of ours like Shogun, we worked with Nick Raskulinich, who worked with Rush, Foo Fighters, you know, Deftones, Alice in Chains, and that album definitely took on a more progressive sort of route, you know, and I think it had a lot to do with working with him. And every time you work with someone different, you get their, like I said, their insight on things. And working with David, he really helped us, you know, find the things that make Trivium, but just, you know, bring them up and just amplify them, bring them to 10, and, you know, make everything count in terms of songwriting. We're pretty good with meeting our fans. I mean, it's not even something we think about ever, like, we don't want to meet anyone tonight. We always go out after the show. We do meet and greets all the time, and, you know, the social media is just another way to keep in touch with them. And kind of gauge what they think of what we're doing in a way, you know, whether it's, you know, the songs we're playing on tour. I mean, we got asked to play Shogun so much, you know, over the last couple of years that it became undeniable that, you know, if we weren't going to put it in the set, people were probably going to come out and cause problems. So, you know, we listen to what our fans say, and I think you have to be really on top of that. I mean, some bands, I don't know if they get as personal with it, but even if not every member is like on there all the time, your band really should have a good online presence.
Free way to get information out too, because not everyone listens to the radio or buys magazines, but pretty much you can guarantee that the majority of people that are keeping up with music and trying to find information about, you know, what a band's doing, they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook. That, you know, if you have like 1 million or 2 million, you know, followers on Facebook, you could just put something up there and everyone worldwide can get the information that you want to put out to your fans. So it's a great way to promote what you're doing for tours, CDs, putting out new music and stuff like that. So if you don't have an online presence, you're kind of missing out on a big part of what, I guess, how bands promote nowadays. With the internet, it kind of like is like the modern day like tape trading circuit where, you know, people put their name and address in a magazine with all this, you know, material they have, and you swap stuff with people, and that's what kind of how people do stuff online. If you have a, you know, a song or a band that you're really into, you can just put it on your Facebook and let everyone else that you're friends with or follows you check it out as well. So you can help promote other artists and everything you're doing. That it's become a big part of how people get their information is through social media. So, and you can see pretty much that with every phase of media, from, you know, CNN to, you know, Blabbermouth to, you know, metal magazines. Everyone's got a Twitter account, a Facebook, and a website. So it's like you got to kind of hit all the, I guess, all the corners of everything that you can use to your advantage for promoting something.
On Trespass America, one of the last tours we did for In Waves, it was like every night there was a fight. Like we'd just be playing and like be headbanging, and then you just notice like some commotion, and it wasn't a mosh pit, it was like dudes fighting. And I think it was because some people just didn't want to, yeah, they just wanted to watch or whatever, and then some people want to throw down, and it was kind of mixing into the wrong area, and a lot of fist fights.
Saw a chick sock a guy in the face. That was pretty entertaining. But yeah, there was that tour was like, we started the tour off and it was, you know, just the average, you know, normal shows. And then there was a stretch in the middle where it was like, I think it was like 9 or 10 shows in a row where every show we had to stop at some point to like calm people down, because like you'd look out and there'd just be like just some dude just bleeding, like from his face just bleeding all over the place, and dude getting socked in the face, or a couple people getting into a fight in the pit and stuff, and we'd always have to like stop and calm down. It was like, man, it's like every single night, like people are just like aggro as fuck. So
it was probably over someone like holding a beer and getting it spilled and like, fuck you, hit him in the face.
Our normal tour shows, usually our fans are pretty cool about not fighting each other. They're just having a good time. But when you play with other bands and different fan bases mix that are a little bit, they go about things differently at shows, like the Circle Pit, and some other bands' fans probably haven't been around circle pits or big moshes like that before, and they think someone running into them is like they're trying to start shit, and then that gets into a fight. But all our fans know, like, you know, what a circle pit is. So it's like if you get knocked down in the pit, usually everyone, you know, picks the other person up and keeps it cool. So that's how we like it.
Matt, our singer, has been doing a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we all did a class one day, just a group thing, all of us, and, you know, just the basic submissions and the basic key things. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it to do it right, you know, to train, to learn how to not hurt yourself even, you know. So the amount of preparation and conditioning that goes into it, I would definitely consider it an art. Just like, you know, some people would consider, you know, cooking an art. Anything that involves skill, time, you know, what we do, just getting ready and preparing and learning how to play at a certain level is definitely an art form. Definitely try to hit either hit gyms. We bring like some weights out and stuff with us, and everyone kind of does their own types of stuff. I know Matt has been trying to keep up with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on the road, has the mats, try to get people to, work with. For me, it's just gym and a lot of jump roping. That I would say is the biggest thing, is jump roping. If you can bring a jump rope out, you can do it anywhere. You don't need anything, just a corner, and just go at it for like 30 minutes. What you got? You got some?
Yeah, I did for a while. I brought it out with me, the DVDs, but I didn't have any room in my suitcase to bring all the extra little, like, the resistance bands and like all the other pieces you need to do a lot of the stuff, which I was going to buy on tour, but I haven't. Got to hit up a Walmart or something. But yeah, I was doing the Tap Out XT DVDs, which is like kind of like I guess in the same world as like P90X Insanity, but it's like got a lot more stuff based off like mixed martial arts moves and stuff with like striking and everything like that. So it's pretty fun. Haven't done it on this tour yet, but as he said, we have like Bowflex weights and then jump rope and then pretty much you can, and then just all the normal push-ups, sit-ups if you want to do that stuff. But
Corey's training to become a goon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a hockey goon at the end of the tour. Yeah, I just practice pulling people's shirts over their face and uppercutting them. But yeah, and then also when we play for like 70 minutes, and the way we usually play, we're pretty physical on stage with rocking out. So that's always a good exercise. Sweating and moving around and singing. Works your core as well from screaming and everything like that. So having longer shows is also a good workout to a certain extent, because you're not just sitting around. So
I remember one time on the Iron Maiden tour, like somehow pulled a groin. That was a pain in the ass. Well, pain in the groin, but every time like I'd like move my leg a certain way, it would just be the worst pain. And
I messed my knees up on that same tour. we had this big like stage production stuff with like stairs and high like ramps and stuff.
You're like jumping off.
Yeah, I was like jumping like 8 feet in the air off it, and I think I kind of screwed my knees. I was wearing like knee braces on the tour because I just kept jumping off like high points. But don't do that no more. But other than just like pulling a neck muscle or something, or just having sore muscles in your back or shoulders or whatever.
I remember a good one. Remember when Matt like somehow got the runner's knee? Like Matt doesn't run or anything, but he got like the runner's knee where like the kneecap starts like moving a weird way, and he had to walk with the cane. We were like in Australia, and he was like walking. He had like a walking cane for like a week. It was really odd.
Yeah, it was like everyone's probably wondering like why this like 23-year-old dude in a band's walking around with a cane all gimpy.
Probably thought it was like a fashion statement or something.
A new hip thing.
Yeah.
How I yearn for the silence, for an end to the voices.
Lately, I've been just listening to a lot of like just old stuff that bands I've been into since I was young, but like some records I might have like put away for a while that I haven't listened to. So a lot of like early Megadeth I'm listening to. Slayer's always playing on the bus before shows, and then I know after the show tonight I just bought the new Dream Theater album, came out today, so definitely gonna be listening to that a lot because there's always a lot to digest. So definitely looking forward to listening to that, and then yeah, and then usually on the bus it just kind of depends on what point in the day. Usually after a show, if everyone's just hanging out having some drinks, you get like the old school party metal, Van Halen, Dokken, Rat, all that stuff plays. So it's there's like 9 people on the bus, so there's always a bunch of random stuff. Just everyone's got like different bands they like, so someone will just plug in an iPod and you'll just hear like the other night you just hear like Crowbar playing and stuff. So there's always tons of different stuff going on.
Like maybe an hour and a half before, everyone's kind of doing their own thing, just the warm-ups. I mean, from Matt and I, vocal warm-ups. I think everyone just getting stretched and just playing guitar. Maybe Nick warming up with drums. Then usually about 15, 20 minutes before, when we're all ready, we're all like together in the dressing room just hanging out, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we don't have anything too odd, I don't think.
Yeah, just pick up a guitar for depending on how you're feeling that day. If you know, because if it's cold out and your hands are all stiff, you might have to warm up longer than usual. But it could be anywhere from like 15 to 30 minutes of just kind of getting ready to play, and then just stretching.
Listening to Slayer.
Yeah, stretching while listening to Slayer. Neck, back, leg. Just kind of loosen up the whole body for thrashing around. And then depending on how you're feeling, sometimes take some like the pre-workout, mix your Muscle Farm with salt, get all juiced up for the show, and just go nuts.